talking about get recruited for wrestlers. All right, so one of the things is wrestling season get ready to come up. We understand, with the COVID and everything, right now we get the vaccine get ready to come out. We're going to be able to get on with wrestling season. It might be delayed about 30 days, but for sure there'll be a wrestling season this year. So one of my things is for my high school wrestlers that are looking at getting recruited for college. All right, one of the first things I like to talk to my high school wrestlers about that train with me and that work out here at Performance Sports Academy is you have to realize that just wrestling for your school, I'll be honest with you, if you want to go on the collegiate level, it's not going to be enough. You should be wrestling for a club. And you should be wrestling for a club. Prime example for one of the things is you got to understand that there is so let's say you are a 125-pound wrestler. There is a 125-pound wrestler state champion at all 5 levels. So if you got you got a 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, there's going to be a champion at each one of those levels. And if you think because I wrestle 6A, I'm the 6A state champion, I'm a 6A runner-up, I'm over the 2A guy, you think that that's just not what it is. That's not true, all right? You need to be wrestling those guys. And the only way you're going to get an opportunity to wrestle those guys is go wrestle in these major tournaments. So one of my next things is I tell everybody is that all my wrestlers that you got to make yourself available for these major tournaments, whether it be, I don't even want to call out no tournament's name, but you know the major tournaments, and whatnot. But you want to make yourself available to go and wrestle in those major tournaments. You need to have training year round. You need to be putting in those matches. On average, once we get into high school, we should be wrestling about 50 to 60 matches, every year. And so that's just one of the things is we need to make sure that we in all of those major tournaments. All right. And now we got it. Those major tournaments cost. And some of you athletes out here who don't have money like that, my thing is you're going to have to work your ass off. Bottom line, you're going to have to work your ass off. You're going to have to go out here. You're going to have to, get a little side job, maybe working, 15 hours a week. And all that money is going to go to is strictly for your wrestling expenses. If you want to do this at a high level, you got to sacrifice and you got to make the commitment. One of the recommendations that I gave to one of my athletes is trash bin cleaning service. Just something simple like that. Only thing you got to do is corner your market in your neighborhood. You could charge each house $10 a week. All right, $10 a week, and you could go out there, clean out those trash bins, make sure they clean, make sure there's no debris in there so they don't have excess flies and stuff like that. Just corner the market in your neighborhood. If you get 10 houses, just do the math. If you get 10 houses, how much money is that? All right, that should be able to take care of your wrestling fees. And you should be able to do that in your spare time, outside of wrestling practice, outside of training, and outside of your schoolwork. All right, because you don't need nothing else. That's it. If you're a student athlete and you want to do this on a high level, you want to be committed like that. All right. So my next thing for my wrestlers that want to get recruited, all right, you go into the major tournaments, you're training, you're highly marketable. All right. Now, it's really the first thing you need to make sure. But this is, technically I tell them the second thing what we need to do is make sure that you are marketable with your grades, making sure that you are eligible. By sophomore year, you should be registered for the NCAA. All right. You should be registered for the NCAA, showing the eligibility center, making sure that you're registered. You should be having a date already set for you to take your SATs. All right, ACTs if that's what you want, and you want to make sure that you make time to study for these. All right, I'll do a separate video on the SAT just in general, and I'm gonna bring in one of my SAT experts, and we're gonna talk about some stuff of how to master the SAT. But you gotta do this by sophomore year, not junior and senior year. We gotta already start prepping for your SATs. All right. If we know we're not the academic student like that, get help. There are teachers out here in your schools. There are people out here. If you're watching this and you're in El Paso and you're watching this because you know me, I have a whole team of people who are willing to help, you know, with SAT prep, because that's all we want to do is help student athletes. All right. But one of the, like I said, but I don't want to beat the SAT up too much, but that is huge. All right. I'm not a great test taker, but you know, what if I know I got a big test and it means something big, we got to do what we got to do. All right. My last thing is I'm gonna talk about is social media presence. All right. So you wrestlers, a lot of the wrestlers, we don't have Twitter. You know, we have crazy stuff on our Instagrams and stuff like that. So we need to be, first of all, you need to get a Twitter. That is where the college coaches are. That's where your high school coaches are. Everybody. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Twitter. But if that's where the college coaches are, I have a Twitter. And my Twitter is specifically to highlight my athletes. And if that's what we're doing, and if you want people to see you, you need to be posting that. Your Twitter needs to be clean. It needs to have your GPA. It needs to have your height, your weight classes. It needs to have on there, you know, your state record for UIL. If you're in Texas, if you are your state, you know, placements in the major tournaments. It needs to have videos of you training, showing you working out. You know, not just working out on the mat. We get it, especially for you small guys, you know, that wrestle in the under 140 and below guys, under 152 and below guys. There's a ton of you guys. All right. You know, everybody wants to wrestle. Everybody wants to get on the mat. But do you want to train? Will you get under the bar? Will you get under the, can you squat? Will you train? Doing all those things. College coaches want to see this. This is what they want to see. They want to see, do you differ from, you know, your counterparts? Are you willing to go in and do the work? Yes, they're a coach. Any moves they need to teach you and teach you the moves. You know, they want an athlete though. They want an athlete that I can have for 4, maybe 5 years, that I can develop in my system, that's going to be able to go and help me win some national titles and whatnot. So social media is huge. Like I tell them, Twitter, we need good Twitters. We need to be posting the videos. We need to be doing what we're doing. Your Instagram. Many of you athletes that's looking at this right now, you have Instagrams and you think nobody knows your ghost account or your spam account and whatnot. You will be found out. That's the one you got on there with all the crazy stuff. If and when you do this and one of your potential college coaches finds out, they will cancel, you know what I'm saying, you immediately. You might not ever know about it. So that's one of my last things I got to say. That's just a couple tidbits on my wrestlers, how to get yourselves recruited. Once again, it's Coach Rob. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know if y'all got any other questions. Peace.